Welcome back, everyone, to another weekly Dynamo Tech Update. We've got Sean here, and we are finally enjoying daylight savings time. Are you as happy as I am to have that back?
I'm a night owl, so instead of getting up at well, the kids are off of school, so instead of getting up 9 a.m., I get up at 10 a.m. But yeah,
so it doesn't really matter to you.
Not too
much. I always appreciate it being light out later, and I saw there was I guess a bill that's trying to go through for making DST permanent. We'll see if it happens this time.
Well, it did happen, and then in like 1972, like the entire population revolted because they said that they didn't want kids standing out waiting for the school bus at, in the middle of the night. So then they pushed it back.
That happens anyway.
Yeah, I know.
At least they could play with some light, after school.
Yeah. Be interesting. A lot of operating system vendors will need to adjust there.
For sure. Okay, well, let's do this then. Why don't we start with the virtual machine and what you may have been doing with GitHub?
Yeah, definitely made a lot of technical progress there. I posted the first, I'll call it proof of concept idea about what a lottery smart contract would look like. Posted the assembly code for that. I completed all of the opcode design, and I then completed about 60% of the actual opcode programming. So all of that has been pushed to GitHub, the GitHub repo, and if people want to take a look at that, you can see what the updates are. It's actually very, very fascinating programming, writing virtual machines. It's one of the more interesting sort of activities that you can do as a developer, because you're kind of, writing a machine inside a machine. So it's always kind of fun to, creating your own stack and creating your own RAM and creating your own ROM and all of those things. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, some really good technical progress there. And I hope to be putting that on testnet soon. And I think, like we talked last time, we'll probably create a testnet bridge to Discord so that people could create testnet wallets, go to a faucet and get some testnet coins, and then call the smart contract from Discord, or create their own smart contract and do some testing that way. The other thing is we need to be clear that it's right now just machine code, basically, right? It only takes bytecode input. I'll probably write an assembler for this, so people don't have to hand code machine code, but we won't have a compiler right up front, so you won't be able to write C or Java or anything like that just yet. We'll be able to probably use some off-the-shelf tools like Yak or something like that to create our own intermediate language compiler, but for the first couple of months, let's say, it'll be strictly an assembly language based virtual machine.
Okay,
lots of development.
Yeah, you're still thinking of having that kind of like betting lottery type thing we were talking about last week as an initial test on Discord?
Yes. Yep.
Great. All right. Well, let's move then on to the memory card algo. Do you have all your hardware now?
Yes.
Hardware?
Yep.
Okay.
So everything's in. Still having a little bit of problems with the 3090 driver. It's just, I don't know, something's going on with that. But I have not really dug into any of the OpenCL internals to figure out optimization yet. I've been really working hard on the MMO and the virtual machine and the voting. So this one kind of took a little bit of a backseat. We still have another 15 days or so before this cycle of algorithms run out. I'm guessing that even at the end of this cycle that there won't be any CPU mining, because it was very, very favorable to GPUs when we tested it internally. So I don't think we're going back to CPU mining. AMD will still be pretty heavily favored. So I'm taking a little bit of time. I put this at a priority too, but I do have all the hardware in.
Okay, good. All right, then what about on-chain voting?
So I pushed a copy of my prototype website to the GitHub repo, and I began working today on the API that monitors the chain for NFTs that are specific to voting, and to be able to monitor the burn addresses as of a certain block height. I can leverage, like, after my analysis, I can leverage like 80 or 90% of what I've already built on the existing wallet server, the thing that supports the non-custodial hosted wallets, because that basically already keeps all the balances. I just need to keep the balance at a specific block height, which is not that much more information. So should be pretty simple. So I'm gonna leverage all of that infrastructure. So I'll probably be pushing out a server this weekend, and maybe we can start testing something next week. We're going to have to figure out how to do the voting, because obviously none of the web wallets support it right now. And keep in mind that this methodology of voting is a throwaway. So once we get smart contracts, we'll be able to do much more intelligent voting, right?
Yep.
So I don't want to do like a whole lot of work, like modifying all of our web wallets just to support this thing. So I may just build a one-off wallet to allow for voting. It'll be like a Windows executable. Sorry if anybody's running Mac or Linux, but have to get a Windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have for us on the 2D MMO?
So this is where I spent the majority of my time over the last several days. I have completed all of the resource gathering loops, inventory, merchant trading, and the Dynamo to gold exchange mechanisms. I've got a couple of little sort of cleanup items on the graphical user interface, like some windows are not having the right Z order or whatever. And then I want to just expand the world a bit. Right now it's kind of like two little areas. So I'm hoping that like this weekend we might be able to have like a little community event where we'll do some like Easter eggs and a chest, hide and seek, find the chest drop or something like that. I need to get a little bit more artwork, because I only have like 2 variations of houses, and I wanted to be able to put houses in the world. One of the resistances that we're having that I've seen pretty consistently is that artists that resell their assets don't want them used. First, it was kind of like, you're not allowed to use them as NFTs. And then it was like, well, you're not allowed to use them in a metaverse where you might be doing world building. And then some people have just gone completely overboard and just off the deep end and say, well, you can't use it in anything related to crypto. So there's this sort of really, hostile take from game developers and game asset producers about crypto. So I think I'm just going to have these made. So
that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's curious where that comes from. I'm sure it's different places. Some may have had bad experiences with maybe losing some crypto or something like that, or maybe they just have had other examples where people are taking assets and turning them into NFTs even though they didn't really make it or something. But yeah.
And I think a lot of people just don't understand crypto. And they think everything, they just listen to Nancy Pelosi, who says that everything that crypto is a scam, right? And there's no legitimate use. And so they're just like, I don't want my project associated with crypto.
Right.
Okay. That's one of the uphill battles that crypto is going to have for a while. We're going to face some headwinds about the whole sort of, it reminds me of a hilarious tweet that I read. I want to get it right. It was somebody tweeted, HSBC has just joined the metaverse. For the first time, we now have to worry about crypto being used for money laundering. Because, HSBC got busted for all their money laundering.
Right.
So I laughed out loud. I was like, okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So the Easter egg would be in the 2D MMOs, kind of your
Yes.
idea. That would be
I
fun.
think so. That was an idea.
Yeah.
An idea where we could, do a hide and seek or some kind of. It's almost like a virtual airdrop or something like that, just to get people on testing, because we're going to have to see, does it work in all the browsers well? What's the latency? There's going to be a whole lot of issues. This is we're moving fast, and stuff's going to be broken, and so we want to try to incentivize people to come and play it. So yeah,
great. All right, super. Then I will just say, to follow up on that work continues on the Lander game. That'll be kind of the billboard project, but we are definitely making that into a more fun to play game compared to the first one, which was just quickly made for the Game Jam. So we should hopefully have more to share on that soon. Yep. What is new with the comedy game?
So I reached out to 5 different, I'll call them amateur comedians, people who've maybe been in the business for a while and had some YouTube content or Reddit content, and said, hey, would you be interested in hosting an NFT-based comedy game show? I got 3 positive responses. We scheduled some calls. Of those 3, I actually ended up having 1 call. It's obviously it's hard to nail these people down and keep following up. That one person was very professional. I was very impressed by his portfolio and his resume. He is going to make a sample video for us sometime this week for us to sort of get an idea about what a comedy game show would look like. He's probably going to do it in front of a live audience, so that could be kind of fun too. And then we're going to go ahead and pitch our contact and see if we can strike a deal there. If not, we're going to continue to push through and build something. But obviously, having somebody who has 1 million Twitter followers is a huge leg up. So we're going to try to really heavily push that.
Okay.
Yeah, continuing to make progress on that.
Okay. And then there's been some activity on the metaverse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we hired a guy to update all of the assets, and he's done a fantastic job. There's billboards with total mayhem throughout the store. He actually created some taxis that go around the space, and people who are cleaning up and walking dogs, and it's sort of got this whole livelihood thing to it. It feels like a neighborhood. And one of the sort of the genius things that Russell came up with was a work to earn concept, where one of the things he's going to do is create like a dog adoption, where you can virtually sponsor a pet that maybe is at the ASPCA or something like that, and you can virtually walk it in the metaverse, and then you will get paid from that by some sponsor, and part of those proceeds would go to, say, the ASPCA, and it will be accordingly tax deductible, which I think is pretty genius. That's too, right? Yeah, so we can use crypto as a conduit for donations to 501c3s, but then there other kinds of jobs. And again, the whole point of the quote unquote jobs is if you stand around sweeping the park for 15 minutes, we're kind of paying you for your eyeballs, right? Like we're paying you to be in the metaverse, to be a participant, and to be able to receive ads. And so then, of course, we're going to have lots of billboards and other sort of situational ads and stuff like that. So, so made a lot of really great products. It feels very vibrant. It's being shown at the GDC Game Developer Conference in San Francisco next week. Russell has a whole bunch of people lined up for that, so very excited.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much everything on our list this week. But before we end it, what is that tower of power behind your shoulder there? Is that your new hardware?
Oh, no, that's a bunch of 580s that I'm selling.
That's old stuff? Okay.
That's very, very small a small contingent of what I have. I have
That's
two
why they're
laundry,
stacked like that.
literally two laundry baskets full of these things, and I'm slowly
You should
parsing them
you should
out
put
on
up a
eBay. I'm
you should put up a little
transitioning.
for sale sign there for the
Yeah,
stream.
really, right. Yeah, I'm just spooling them out on eBay. I'm starting to transition, off of ETH to different altcoins, right? Because obviously we have this, we have this business where we sell our cheap power, for lack of a better term, right? Because
Yeah.
here in Delaware, it's about 4.5 cents a kilowatt hour. And we have, fairly nice weather, and I have this wonderful warehouse that's very well ventilated, and we've got lots of space and networks and all that kind of great stuff. So we have several clients now that are renting, if you will, rigs, and we need to start transitioning them. So that'd be an interesting conversation actually for the community. I think is what altcoins are people starting to look at? What projects are viable for third-party investors, because we got
Absolutely.
a lot of money in this, so got to point it somewhere.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, comments are not working for me in StreamYard today, so I don't see anything.
I didn't see any. Yeah, I didn't see any either. I think maybe because of the way I created the live stream, it didn't
Okay.
flow to. Perhaps it's in YouTube. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, sorry.
Sorry if you. One thing I did want to sort of in summation say is I know that we've talked a lot about a lot of stuff over the last, let's call it 10 days. I know we've said a lot of stuff is in progress. Some of these things take a little bit of time before we can show results, and putting everything together and making it work. It's a lot of these things are well, I know I'm not a football guy, but I don't know what you call it, 3rd and 10 or whatever it is, right? Like you're like really that close, but the last little bit to get it over the finish line, is always sort of that. Even though it's 95% complete, you may still have that last 5% is really hard to get it polished, to get it operational, to get it actually production quality. And so a lot of these things are like that. Like there's just so many things that are like really, really close.
And you want to get it right.
Yeah. So work is arduously continuing. I'm not always necessarily on Discord actively engaging with everyone, but I am actively programming every day. This is still what I do. Nothing's changed.
See that as a good thing, Sean, not spending hours on Discord.
Yes, I
Very good. All right, then. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. And I guess we'll have some announcements this weekend if we're going to have an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow. Worst case, I'll just finish out the map. But I really want to get some more houses in there that actually could be purchased by players. I just have this one house model. I need to get a couple more houses. So if I can get something tomorrow, that'll be wonderful. If not, we'll go with with just a wilderness kind of setting or something like that. I have plenty of props and assets for that. So.
Right.
Would it be possible to be more transparent regarding various upcoming algos and what the changes? So the algos are published. You can find them on the GitHub repo. Hash rate should drop down, and actually the hash rate's going to go up, I think, in the next 3 sequences, but it really doesn't matter. It's all your relative hash, right? So, and if you're using the same hardware, you should experience relatively the same amount of coin emission. So, if you don't, holler on Discord, let us know. If somebody's, if you think something's broken, for sure, let us know. But I think there's 3 more algorithms before April 2nd, at which point there's no more algorithms until we go to the memory hard one. But
if everybody's hash rate's going down, then the net hash goes down, and your percentage of the net hash should stay generally the same, right? So what is really important to look at is just to see if the number of coins you're earning per day is changing. That's more of a better measure, and that of course can change if more people start mining or adding new hardware or turning stuff off.
Yep. Unfortunately, there's this is a community sourced project, and anybody can do anything on it. So you may find that somebody throws a whole bunch of cards on there and you get less coins on something. Happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like that is it then. So, oh, maybe not.
Unless NVIDIA drops. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
It could happen. Yes.
Absolutely. Which is what the memory hard algo will hopefully resolve.
Yep.
All right then.
Cool.
Well, until next week, everyone have a great rest of your day, and more fun tomorrow.
All right. See ya.
Bye.